Do you want to know 7 reasons why Canelo versus Amir Khan should not happen next? If so, stay tuned to this video. What up, Fight World? It's your boy Ego, and I'm back with some more boxing. Now, I'm back with another 7 reasons for you guys. This is just my thoughts, my personal opinion on why I think the Canelo versus Amir Khan fight should not be next for both guys. I think there's different options that would have made a little bit more sense than Canelo versus Khan. Now, this is a type of fight that was just announced yesterday. It's the type of fight where a lot of the casual fans, they're going to see 2 big names and they're going to be like, oh, this is great. This is great for boxing. And to me, it doesn't really make that much sense. So again, yeah, you got 2 big names in there, so people are going to watch. But I think a lot of people are going to watch for the real reason. I don't know many people who are actually picking Khan to beat Canelo and intelligently explaining why they believe he will defeat him. So again, this is my personal opinion. It's in no particular order. It just doesn't make as much sense for me. So let's get started. Number 1, Garcia Guerrero. What I mean by that is Amir Khan has faced Danny Garcia in the past, and he was doing good for himself the first 2 rounds. He was clipped in the 3rd round, never fully recovered, and he got stopped in the 4th round. Now, the WBC just named Khan, who has a silver belt with them, they named him the mandatory for Danny Garcia, and Danny Garcia was to fight Amir Khan by June, and that was per the WBC. So basically, Amir Khan was in a position where he could have avenged his loss and went in against Danny Garcia, who has jumped up in weight just like Amir Khan. They both fought at 140, but Amir Khan made the plunge to 147 before Danny Garcia, and Amir Khan has, I believe, 1 more fight at the full 147 pounds. Danny Garcia moved up, stopped Paulie Malignaggi, and recently he beat Robert Guerrero. Now, this is a good fight. A lot has changed since they first met. Amir Khan switched from Freddie Roach. Now he's with Virgil Hunter. Danny Garcia, he had 2 performances where he got outboxed and didn't look too great, even though they gave him the win, and that was against Lamont Peterson and also against Mauricio Herrera, who controlled him with the jab. So it'd be an interesting fight. Khan with the new trainer, Virgil Hunter. Khan's a good boxer. So it'd be interesting to see in a new division where both guys were and who would win in a rematch. Would Khan have learned from his mistakes of being maybe too aggressive in the first fight? And where's Danny Garcia at welterweight? That would probably, if they were to fight each other, that would be the best welterweight names with momentum that they've faced since they moved up to welterweight. So by Khan fighting Canelo, it kind of takes him out of the equation. Now Danny Garcia has a reason to not fight him. I don't know how long they're going to keep Amir Khan as the voluntary WBC status, since he's now going on to pursue a different bout with Canelo Alvarez. Number 2, a loss to Canelo, which is not a foregone conclusion, but stylistically it's a bad matchup for Khan, in my opinion. And a loss to Canelo Alvarez, to me, will definitely hurt a Kell Brook fight. Now, Khan and Kell Brook have been quarreling and beefing with each other for years now. Who's the best Brit? They were on Sky Sports a couple years ago. They both have different tales of what happened when they sparred in the past. A lot has changed. Since then, Kell Brook crossed over the pond and fought Sean Porter, taking his IBF belt. And then Amir Khan, he's been stopped since then. He moved up to welterweight. So a lot has changed since the years where Khan and Brook sparred. And this has been a fight that many fans, domestic and stateside, have wanted to see for a while. Now, this is all hypothetically, but Khan is going into the Canelo fight as the underdog, and I haven't really seen anyone that intelligently breaks down otherwise. So that being said, if he were to lose, especially if it's a bad loss, let's say he gets knocked down a gang of times and gets stopped, that wouldn't be good for Khan's career in general, let alone it's definitely going to lessen a Khan versus Kell Brook fight. I mean, if you see him get pummeled, hypothetically, if you see him get pummeled by Canelo, yeah, he could drop back down, but how worth it is it going to be to see Kell Brook? Namely for Brook, let's say Kell Brook fights him and beats him. People could just easily say, oh, you fought damaged goods Khan that got beat up on by Canelo. You know what I'm saying? So any way you slice it, unless Khan were to win versus Canelo, it makes the Brook fight smaller. Number 3, Triple G. No, guys. Hey, Max. Triple G has been the mandatory for Canelo's lineal middleweight championship for a while now. He was avoided by guys like Sergio Martinez, and then Martinez lost to Cotto. Cotto took his belts. Cotto didn't look like he wanted to fight Triple G. And Triple G, just when you think we're going to get a mega fight between Canelo and Triple G, they decide to have voluntary defenses. And now Canelo's facing Amir Khan, and Triple G is facing Dominique Wade. So it kind of leaves Triple G out of the loop. And the thing is, with Triple G being the mandatory, that's a fun fight for the fans. That's a big, massive fight, Canelo versus Triple G, easily a HBO pay-per-view, and it kind of throws him out of the equation. Plus, I don't think Canelo fighting a guy like Amir Khan, who is not of that division, especially Canelo weight of 155, it doesn't really prove that he's gearing up to face a guy like Triple G. I mean, you're going in against a smaller welterweight. Yeah, he's tall. He has some height to him. But again, is a guy who's never fought above 150 pounds as a professional. So again, this doesn't give me the confidence that if Canelo is victorious versus Amir Khan, that he will be facing Gennady Triple G Golovkin. Number 4, the size differential. This is perhaps the biggest thing. If Amir Khan's a good fighter, if Amir Khan had naturally been a little bit bigger and decided to make this fight, okay, it'd be interesting because Canelo has slow feet, things like that. But the size differential to me seems too massive. We're talking about a guy in Canelo who looked huge next to Cotto. Cotto could not hurt him. And if he did, it wasn't apparent, right? And we're talking about a guy with only 3 fights at welterweight in Amir Khan, who's been hurt in lighter divisions by guys his size or smaller. Guys like Danny Garcia, guys like Brettis Prescott. He got floored by Julio Diaz. Now he's going up in weight to 155, and it just seems like so much of a size differential. No tune-up fights. We give Khan a lot of credit for having the cojones to take the fight, but again, I think the size differential just makes this fight make a whole lot less sense as far as I'm concerned. And the next one is, this goes against the Golden Boy pact of the best fighting the best as far as I'm concerned. Now, Oscar De La Hoya of Golden Boy Promotions, he's made it his business to take jabs at the competition. And it's a business, I get it. McDonald's takes jabs at Burger King and things like that. But if you're going to do that, you have to at least stay true to what you're saying. De La Hoya, he's taking jabs at Al Heyman in his Premier Boxing Champs series, saying they're putting on mismatches. Here at Golden Boy, we're here to have the best fight the best. And you can't honestly tell me that this is the best fighting the best for a lineal middleweight champion in terms of Canelo. Yes, it could be fun for rounds, but stylistically, the matchup-wise, clearly is going to favor Canelo. And again, it's a lot has to do with what I just said in my last point, the size differential, right? If Khan was a little bit bigger, maybe had like a iron granite chin or something like that, it'd be a different story. But there's a lot that Khan would have to overcome and have to box a beautiful fight in order to win this fight. And it just his chances, his odds seem to be dwindled down. And I'll get to that a little bit later in this video as well. So to me, this goes against the grain of what Golden Boy has been preaching about making the best fight the best. And Heyman and other people are putting on mismatches, because you look at Porter versus Thurman, that's clearly a 50-50 fight. I know people picking Thurman. I know a lot of people picking Porter. Dante's Boxing Nation did a video where he's in the Mayweather gym interviewing people, and more people picked Porter to win. Maybe that's because Porter's in Las Vegas now and he has a lot of ties. Who knows? But when I was in the boxing gym in Oakland, a lot of people were picking Thurman. That's how you know you have a good fight. Thurman versus Porter is a good fight, 50-50. You can make a strong argument and intelligently break down why either guy has a chance to win. You look at fights like Carl Frampton and Scott Quigg. Same thing. You can make an intelligent argument, whether you lean toward Frampton or Quigg, you can make an intelligent argument why those Heyman fights are competitive, at the very least, at least on paper. But with the Canelo versus Khan, the odds are definitely stacked against Amir Khan in this particular fight, and I'm going to explain that a little bit more with my next point. Which brings me to the next point. The fight is taking place at Canelo weight. Now, Canelo has had a catch weight ever since the Mayweather fight. And I'm not even going to include the Mayweather fight. That was a catchweight of 152. And there's an argument on who created that request for the catchweight. Because Canelo, there was reports that said Canelo would fight Mayweather even at 150. Then Team Canelo says, hey, we didn't offer the catchweight. Mayweather said he wanted the catchweight. And then the Mayweather team said, no, we just went off what you said, etc. But after that, ever since that, every fight has been at Canelo weight of 155. The division is 154 pounds. That's the division. And Canelo has been fighting. He fought Angulo, Lara. He fought James Kirkland. He fought Cotto, all at a catch weight of 155. That is 4 fights at this mystical division that he's created of 155. So that being said, since he's pulling a guy up like Amir Khan in weight, Khan, he's only 3 fights, like I said earlier in this video, 3 fights into his welterweight career, right? He got knocked down at a catch weight of 143 versus Julio Diaz, who is pretty much a career lightweight. And with no tune-ups, again, you give credit to Khan for having the guts to challenge himself, but it just seems like this weight, the Canelo weight, does nothing for Khan and only benefits Canelo. And they're fighting for the middleweight titles. So I have a bunch of problems with that. Like I said, it seems like Team Khan or whoever is in charge of this would have at least tried to make it a little bit more balanced where it didn't benefit one guy. You have Khan doing all the traveling. Khan's coming from 147 all the way to 155. Canelo, on the other hand, is comfortable fighting at what he's been fighting at for his last 4 fights of 155. So that's a weight he can make. He's made it his last 4 fights. And he obviously is the bigger guy. And back to the size differential that I said earlier, it's some people are going to say, oh, but Khan is tall. Khan is taller than Canelo. I get that. But if you know anything about boxing, height doesn't really matter. You got guys like Jeffrey Matabula, who's taller than Amir Khan and Canelo Alvarez. He's 5'11", almost 6 feet tall, and he fights at super bantamweight. You look at Chris Algieri versus Manny Pacquiao. A lot of people said that, oh, but Chris Algieri, he's so much taller than Pacquiao. Tall doesn't matter. It matters what you bring to the table, the stylistic matchup, the skill set, punching power, just different attributes. Chris Algieri was a lot taller than Pacquiao, and you've seen him get demolished, just like I said in my past 7 reasons video, right? So simply being tall is only a small chunk of the pie. So to me, I just don't see how this catch weight of 155 for middleweight titles would benefit Khan at all, because again, he's the only one having to come up and challenge himself. If this fight were to have taken place at 151, 152, 153, even the regular 154, that's at least making Canelo earn it a little bit more and drop that extra pound, which for his large frame might be harder. You know what I mean? So I'm not sure why it was agreed upon from Team Khan to accept this at the full 155. I understand being brave and trying to put on great fights and challenge yourself, but I think they should have done something that was a little bit more fair, where it was balanced, where, you know what I mean, where both fighters had to budge a little bit. Canelo had to drop an extra pound to make the actual division weight of 154 pounds, since Khan is doing all this traveling up. That's just my personal opinion. And finally, the final 7th reason is this. This fight only works one way. If Canelo beats Amir Khan, to me, it proves nothing. And what I mean by that is this. We'll start off with Amir Khan. If Amir Khan defeats Canelo, he's the man, because he's going into this fight as the underdog. He's the one traveling up in weight. He's the guy who is expected to have the shakier of the chin. Canelo's never been knocked out or knocked down as a professional fighter, right? He came close in the Jose Miguel Cotto fight, but it was an official knockdown, right? So Canelo is clearly the favorite. Amir Khan, who is moving up in weight to challenge himself, is clearly the underdog. That being said, if Amir Khan can somehow prove me wrong, and I'll do a 7 reasons on why I believe Canelo beats Amir Khan, because that is what I believe happened, so stay tuned for that 7 reasons. But if by some way Amir Khan proves me wrong, I'll give him all the credit in the world, and he's a star because he beat Canelo when the odds were stacked against him. But it only works one way, and the reason I say that is because Canelo, it doesn't prove anything. You're fighting another undersized guy. Canelo fought Mayweather. Okay, he's undersized, but he's considered the best pound-for-pound fighter in the world. That's fine. But fights like Josecito Lopez, Josesito Lopez, a career 140-pounder, moved up to fight Victor Ortiz at 147, was losing that fight on the scorecards, and there was a freak accident where Victor Ortiz got his jaw broken, and the fight was stopped. He could no longer continue. So I understand that Victor Ortiz was next in line to face Canelo had Victor Ortiz got past Josesito Lopez, but that made more sense. Even though I would favor Canelo to beat Victor Ortiz even back then, stylistically, it was a more even matchup. Like I said, Ortiz was ahead on the scorecards, beating up on Josesito Lopez. Josesito Lopez's face, if you look at the end of the fight, was pretty banged up. Josesito was losing the fight before that random breaking of the jaw. Victor Ortiz, also a guy who's rehydrated past 165 pounds. He's big. He's a big welterweight. He's a southpaw. He's athletic. He has more power. So I understand that Josesito Lopez is the guy that upset Victor Ortiz, but Victor Ortiz seems like it would have been more of a closer fight based on the attributes and the stylistic matchup. And now you're talking about Khan. Yes, Khan has speed. Khan has decent footwork, things like that. But it still doesn't prove anything because Canelo is such a vast favorite and the guy's not even in his division. So this doesn't signify to me that Canelo is capable of beating Triple G. Even if he goes in there and demolishes Khan, knocks him out in one round, that doesn't prove that he can even stand toe-to-toe with the David Lemieux or Curtis Stevens or Danny Jacobs type of middleweight, let alone the best middleweight in the world, which is Gennady Triple G Golovkin. So to me, it only works one way. If Amir Khan wins, he pulls the upset, he gets props, and people will give him a lot of credit for outboxing Canelo because I don't think he can stop him. But if Canelo beats Amir Khan, it's to be expected, and he's not going to get that much credit because Khan's been stopped before, and most people are considering this a mismatch. That concludes the 7 reasons why Canelo versus Khan shouldn't happen. Will I watch it? Of course I'll watch it. I'm a reporter. I cover boxing, and like I said, it's just like a train wreck. I would watch a train wreck. Not that it's something enjoyable, but we always want to see for that what-if factor. I could be wrong, but I could also be very right. You guys let me know, should Canelo versus Khan happen next? Am I underestimating Khan or Canelo, his strengths and weaknesses? Drop that in the comment section. Let me know what you guys thought of this video. Make sure you like my video as always. Hate, comment, and subscribe. Till next video is Ego signing off. So if you enjoyed this video and want more content like this on the channel, you can show your appreciation by going to the PayPal donate button or the YouTube support button. And you can donate any amount that you feel is equivalent to the value of this video. Much more to come. Thank you guys for your support. Boxing Ego, the future of boxing.